It leads me to my first rant of the day. There might be many rants today, but today's Dan's rant is about investing your time. Just like Alex said, is investing his money in himself, is invest your time. One of the key differences between an individual and a business owner is how they think about money, and more importantly, how they think about time. My title, productivity coach, means that my life is pretty much strewn around productivity and doing things as productive and efficiently as possible. One of the big things is I have really had a mental mind shift around wasting time. Raise your hand if you ever felt like you've wasted time.
No.
Shame on you. Bad agent. But the reality is we've all wasted time. And you know what? Raise your hand if you've ever lost money. Yeah, right? Mikey threw his hand up so far, he did a backflip. When you waste money, can you make more of it?
Yes.
Absolutely, right? You can reinvest, you can find another dividend, you can bring in other efforts, you can go get a different job. There's ways of recouping your losses. Many millionaires and billionaires have been bankrupt before, which is kind of funny to think of a term in bankruptcy in those numbers, but well, they've gone to zero and then back up. But the one resource that you absolutely can't get more of is your time. Yet, how often do we look at what we get out of our time? When we make an investment, like say you're buying a stock, or you buy a new bicycle, or you're taking some training course, there's a time or money invested. The money aspect, we look at it and we look at ROI, return on investment. But not enough people talk about the ROI in time. If you're making 10% yield on your money, fantastic. That means your money's working for you. Great. But how do you turn time into a benefit? How do you make time work for you? Well, it starts off with the idea that time is an investment. And just like you invest your money, it's different than spending it. Spending your money means you have given something for something else and you're done. It's consumerism. However, when you invest your money, you're expecting what?
A return.
A return. You're expecting something back. You're investing to get more of. Consumption is, I'm going to go buy a banana. I'm not buying a banana with the intent of having more bananas. I'm just going to get a banana. That's spending. Now I invest my money in a banana company. Well, I can have bananas and I get more money. Now, let's look at time. Oftentimes I hear people say, I spend a lot of time doing this. Okay. I don't hear a ton of people saying, I invested my time. So every morning we get together, right? Some of you have been on me with years and years of 30-minute blocks. And some of you just started. Hell, some of this is your very first call. But the time that we spend together either becomes an expense or an investment. Or what's the difference?
What we do with it?
100%. 100%. Because if I give you a piece of knowledge, or you have an aha, or some epiphanic moment in your day where you're like, you know what, this makes total sense. And then you go back to spending time on the couch watching Netflix. The time that you could have invested in your business or your personal growth is gone. You can't get it back. Now, I want you to think about your business in terms of that. How much time are you spending and how much time are you investing? Because the time you spend calling and lead generating and going after new business, is that an expense or an investment?
Investment.
100%. Thank you, Karen. Because one of the best things there is, will you get a return from it? Start looking at your time as tightly as you look at your money. And when you look at your time in that manner, you will have more of it. The richest people in the world, I'm talking the sheiks, the kings, the lords, the dames, the queens, everybody that is at high power, high money. How many hours in a day do they have?
Same as us.
24 hours, baby. I call that a level playing field. There's the big difference. What do they do with it? They invest their time. Invest their time in people, invest their time in education, invest their time in skills. Because if you make yourself 1% better every day, and I mean 7 days a week, what happens at the end of the year? How many times better are you? 365% better. Let me ask you this. Could you have your finances become 365% better? I'm good with that, because each time you improve, you're improving upon the bigger base. But the reality is real estate is like that. I don't care if you're new to this business or you flatline in your business or you want to do some more, maybe a little bit of increase over time. And then all of a sudden it shoots off like a rocket, because that investment in yourself compounds exponentially. If I give you $1 a day, how many dollars do you have? Right? Now, let's put those dollars in an interest-bearing account. That money grows even beyond the amount that I give you. So when I give you knowledge, when we gain knowledge from other people, or we get information that becomes an aha moment where we restructure the neurons in our own brain, that is your data bank account. That can't go backwards. So when you take time and you invest it in learning and developing yourself, my friends, it is an investment in your future. It is the best form of time management. So I don't care if it's 15 minutes of a conversation with a colleague or a half an hour class in the morning on Zoom. Make the most of it. Don't just check the box, because the worst thing you can do with your success is pencil whip it. If you guys don't know what pencil whipping is they just fill out the report and don't actually do the work. We are here to grow and develop, and that is an active sport.
This solidifies chapter 3 I read this morning in Morning Miracle, where it's basically investing your time and making the most of it. And you know, we a lot of times we'll miss like a call or something and just think we don't see that bigger picture of the ripple effect it causes by not making it to those meetings, to those calls, to building the skill set and everything. So thank you for solidifying that for me.
That's what it's all about, Mikey. Guys, how many of you have been on this call all week, right? Have you picked up something you can put into your business and work right now? Head shakes, right? Thumbs up. It works for me. Now, what would have happened? And looking back on the calls that we had this week, what if you'd missed one of them? What would you have missed out on? Which part of your business now doesn't have the puzzle piece in place? I don't like to look at the things I've missed out on, because I don't focus on negative things. However, I do like to remind myself that I am missing out on things that will make me better so that I can help more people. When I make a choice to watch a YouTube video about dancing cats instead of listening to some of my audiobook or reading something of some investment value, then I have made a choice to shortchange you guys. And that doesn't feel good to me. Because although some of you don't even really know who I am, you're just meeting me in this tiny 2x3 screen. I don't know exactly how measured it is, but how big your computer is depends on that. I have an investment in you. And I am requiring myself to show up, and I'm requiring myself to make it so that you can take what I do and grow it exponentially. Because after all, we're not spending time here. We're investing time together. And in that, I will see you succeed. And I can say that standing on the top of my pulpit. I don't care. I know that success is simple recipe. Plug in A, mix a little bit of B, do it right, do it consistently, boom, success. You don't have to be a superhero to be successful. Alexis, did you watch that video I told you to watch yesterday?
I watched most of it, yeah.
Was there a part that you didn't have to be a superhero or superhuman to be successful?
Yes, there was.
Right. Did he also talk about how one person in the family line changes the family forever?
Yes,
Are you that one person?
I hope so.
I love it. Now you see why I told you to listen to it.
Yeah.
So for all of our Keller Williams agents, if you have not listened to Ed Milet, he is the keynote speaker at Family Reunion. Does anyone know who I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a couple of you, because I want you to do it. This is your homework for the weekend, if you will. And I think it's going to be awesome for you. You all have access to it. So kwconnect.com, it's the same login credentials that you get from Command. You're going to scroll all the way to the bottom and just up a little bit more, actually, because I went way too far. The top one right here, the Family Reunion 23 keynote speaker, Ed Milet. This is 1 hour and 40 minutes of one of the best speeches and public expressions that you'll ever see. Go watch it. People paid thousands of dollars to see this man. Thousands to see this man speak. And our company recorded it with his licensing and said, you know what? We're going to save it for all of our agents to watch forever. So that's an hour and 40-minute investment in your time. Take notes. It's going to sing out to you. He's got a great book. It's called The Power of One More. It's way back there. I don't want to go grab it. It's a great book too. But one of the key reasons there, I want to bring this up, is he talks about that we see people that are hyper successful and we think that they have some kind of it factor we don't. Some kind of superhuman ability we don't. And the truth is they're not. They're not superhuman. They're not super able. These are just people that do things consistently well. The way for success is to be willing to do things that others are not. And sometimes that's just making phone calls consistently, knocking on doors consistently, keeping up with your database consistently. So I would love for all of you guys to watch that this weekend. We can talk about it next week. Just a reminder, we are not here on Monday because it's a holiday and I'd like you guys to spend it with your family. But then we'll talk about it on Tuesday. All right. That's the end of my rant.
I just started watching and I love it. It's a good way to get the day started.
You know, Nita, I've heard that a few times. And I
Oh,
appreciate that because this is what it's all about. This is your power-up call.
It's great.
My key takeaways for you today, guys, is invest your time, not just your money. Invest in people, invest in training, and invest in your development. Meaning that I'm putting money in, I want to get money out. And every moment you put into your business, you should demand a return. Because if you're not, you're wasting time. If you're not calling with the intent to find business, if you're not texting with the intent to find business, if you're not door knocking with the intent to find business, and you're just checking a box, are you wasting time? So, all right. No final thoughts? Man, I'm excited for this weekend. It's going to be a great thing. Some great things are coming. Until then, big high five from the top.